Hi everybody. From today onwards, we are starting with the series for surgery first. We will try to cover all the PYTs which are important from like INICET exam, from NEET PG, and as well as for FMG exam. So we'll try to do all those questions which has been previously tested. So first topic I've chosen here is this Zenker's diverticulum. So we'll go through this and we'll try to make it more interesting so that we can retain it. And usually this stuff, I don't think so this is something you are studying for the first time. Everybody must have been through this topic once in their lifetime. So this time we'll just go through those stuff which is tested in the exam, and that particular thing which we have to keep in our mind, right? That we cannot forget, we cannot afford to forget. Okay, so we are starting with the Zenker's diverticulum. So how patient will present in our OPD? So we'll see the scenario first. So here we have a 65-year-old gentleman walks into your OPD with complaint. So first thing we have to remember, like in when patient when examiner want us to answer this Zenker's diverticulum, so in that clinical history will mention the old man. So old man will be given with Zenker's diverticulum, and he complains of, doctor, whenever I eat some food, it comes back up into my mouth undigested. This is again important, undigested, sometimes hours later. His wife says, and he smells really bad from the mouth. And next things, he lands in the hospital with aspiration pneumonia. So what is it? What is this complaint? This is, you have to remember, this is regurgitation. And then what is this? This is halitosis. Now we'll go through this topic, the definition. First thing we have to remember, this Zenker's diverticulum is false. This is false. This is Pearlson diverticulum. We'll learn it later how we'll remember this, that it is false or this is Pearlson. Okay, so just keep in mind that this is false and this is Pearlson's diverticulum at the posterior of hypopharynx, right? Pearlson's we will remember like P. Here it is also posteriorly P, and hypopharynx, and how it is, what is the etiology behind it. This is also very important. That is this cricopharyngeal eclasia. That is, eclasia means non-relaxation of the cricopharyngeus. So what is happening here? We have this thyropharyngeus, and here we have this cricopharyngeus, and the space between them is this Killian's dehiscence. Killian's dehiscence. So this we have to remember. This is cricopharyngeus, this is thyropharyngeus, and this is Killian's dehiscence. So here we have this, that this herniates. This Zenker's diverticulum herniates through this Killian's dehiscence, which is the beak spot between this thyropharyngeus and cricopharyngeus. Okay, so this is the whole X-ray image we have to remember. This is the outpouching we see. Okay, now what is the pathophysiology behind this disease? So whenever patient swallows, most of the cases old patient will be given. So whenever he swallows, there will be, so the problem is this cricopharyngeus eclasia. So it does not relax, cricopharyngeus will not relax. So what will happen? It leads to high intraluminal pressure. It will leads to high intraluminal pressure. So due to this pressure, it pushes the mucosa out through this Killian's trapdoor, right? And this is the little pouch forms, that is this Zenker's sac. So this we have to remember, right? This is the pathophysiology. Now what are the clinical features? This is important. First, earliest we have to remember this regurgitation of an undigested food. Why undigested? Because food has not reached yet in the stomach, because here's the food collecting in this pouch. It has not entered the stomach. It has not yet entered the stomach. That's why it is regurgitation of the undigested food. This we have to remember. Buzzword will be given halitosis, because food rots in the pouch. Dysphagia is progressive, and most common complication, this we have studied earlier also, aspiration pneumonia. So Boyle sign is also important. This we have to remember, Boyle sign. So this is the gurgling. When we'll press the neck, there will be this gurgling sound in the neck mass. This is important. Mnemonic, if want to remember, then we can, this is RHA, that is regurgitation, halitosis, and aspiration pneumonia. Now, investigation of choice, we have to remember this, that is only varium swallow is this investigation of choice, where it shows this pouch posteriorly and to the left. Initially it is posterior, and then it comes to left side. And remember this endoscopy is dangerous. Why it is dangerous? Because it can perforate also, and CT ka we have to remember it has no role in Zenker's diverticulum. So varium swallow is only important. So this we can remember like buzzword. Varium makes the pouch dance and scope makes it burst. And how do we manage? So the gold standard management we should know, right? So diverticulectomy and cricopharyngeal myotomy. So diverticulectomy and myotomy, what we are doing here, we are removing this pouch, and fixes the cause. The cause is what? This cricopharyngeal muscle. Why? Because it was not relaxing, so we are fixing the cause, this non-relaxing sphincter, and it has best results and lowest recurrence. This we have to remember. In options they can also give CCB. Generally we give CCBs for any motility disorder, of this esophagus, related motility disorders, but we have to remember that it has not good results. So they are asking about this. Gold standard treatment will always be this. Okay, so if patient is unfit, we go for endoscopic approach. Here what we are doing in unfit, if patient is unfit for a procedure, we are going with this Dolman's procedure, where we are this endoscopic procedure, where we are doing this stapling and laser along with myotomies, right? This is faster, safer, but the problem here with this is that it has high recurrence rate. The buzzword we have to remember, this is important, that fit, if man is fit, it gets cut, unfits man gets stapled. Okay, so here false, why it is called false diverticulum? Because only this mucosa and submucosa is protruding out, right? And in true diverticulum, so here we can remember one mnemonic, T. So T is true diverticulum, T is traction type and caused by TB, and TB is a similar disease we have is histoplasmosis. This we know, both presentation is very much similar. So true diverticulum ka we have to remember T, traction type, mid esophagus is also important, because on the upper side is Zenker's, mid mein this is true, this is RTV wala traction type diverticulum, and one of the rare complication which is very like less chances, that is squamous cell carcinoma with this Zenker's diverticulum. So Zenker is false and TB is true. So T se will remember this. Now we'll quickly go through this. Earliest regurgitation, most common, aspiration pneumonia, investigation of choice. Treatment is diverticulectomy, cricopharyngeal myotomy, and Killian's dehiscence. This we have remembered. Now Zenker's mein whenever examiner want us to answer this, will give the old man, bad breath, pouch. That pouch will be on the top, and in mid esophageal, like these are the three different types of esophageal diverticula, right? So we have this, one is the Zenker's, mid esophageal, third is epiphrenic. So mid esophageal ka we have to remember, TB pulls from outside. TB is outside. TB is outside pathology, outside the esophagus. The other one is from inside. This we have to remember, pulls from the outside, and it is rarely symptomatic. And epiphrenic ka we have to remember that it is Ecclesia's best friend. Why it is Ecclesia's best friend? Because it is at the bottom. So Zenker's pushes from the above, TB pulls from the midline, and Ecclesia pushes. So these two are pushes and it is pulls. This we have to remember. And this one more, like this same mid esophageal diverticulum, the other esophageal diverticula which we have studied also. This TB wala, this mid esophagus near carina and tracheal bifurcation, true, because all layers are involved, and traction from the outside usually due to the tuberculosis, mediastinal lymph nodes, histoplasmosis, and other mediastinal infections. And this we have to remember, that is usually incidental finding and it's asymptomatic. TB pulls the wall, traction, TB, histoplasma, this we have to remember. Now this is the comparison table where we'll see, like we can compare these three conditions, these three esophageal diverticula. So Zenker's ka we have studied, mid esophageal ka we have studied, you can go through this. And epiphrenic, this distal wala, that Ecclesia's best friend wala, that is above the lower esophageal sphincter, falls and pulsion, again same like this. Here the etiology is this Ecclesia and spasm. Here it is cricopharyngeal Ecclesia, here it is TB and histoplasma, here it is Ecclesia and spasm. This is the etiology, this we have to remember. And here how do patient present? Regurgitation, halitosis, this is asymptomatic mostly, and here it can be dysphagia and reflux. Everywhere it is varium swallow, that is investigation of choice. Here we go with diverticulectomy, myotomy. myotomy and diverticulectomy again, and usually it is not required, like usually none we go for anything. So if only if it is like large traction or large, then only we go for excision. Okay, so this is all about the Zenker's diverticulum, and I think with this we can answer any question of Zenker's diverticulum. Okay, thank you.